Hello, welcome to Studio Nicole. I'm Nicole and I am so glad that you're here. I haven't been in the studio for like a week and I definitely need to get back in here. It has been so crazy, but today I am happy to go over my final Cascade journal flip through. We finished it. We've been working on this all the way through the month of April in Paper, Paint, and Possibility. All of those videos are going to be collected into a playlist, so you can go back and watch them all. If you stumble on this one last, you'll be able to see like from where we started to where we ended up. For those of you who have been following along, I'm excited to share the final product. I'll go over a little bit about the last little bits of mark making that I've done. So on this tiny, tiny little cover that we have here, you probably can't even tell, I added some mark making in this metallic green and I scattered that throughout. So I'll point it out in a couple of places. I like to do this. It's very subtle, but it does create, again, a sense of cohesion through all of the pages. I also used almost the very end of this washi tape roll. I think I maybe have like just barely any of it left. So I used some of this again on my pages. So there is just a tiny little strip of it right here. I do like to tear it like this way, so that we get kind of a ragged edge. So it's not always just a square piece of tape. So there are places where I've done both. So on the first page, we just have the word I. I've added some messy handwriting and I have a little bit of this tape down here. I have some stamping. The second word is don't. On these early pages where they're so narrow, I was just putting one word at a time, but I'm still completing the same, like I've got the stamping, I have the tape, and I have some handwriting, right? So each page still feels very connected. And obviously, of course, the color palette stays the same throughout. No. Exactly. And now we're starting to get like some actual space on the page, right? We have a little bit of a page. You can see too that I used a stencil and added some green right along in here. There's a tall like flower. Some of the green mark making, some of the washi tape, some of the handwriting. And then we've got what? And this is one of those messy scraps with some of the green mark making. What I did was I put the green mark making or the green marker, sorry, down, and then I like smeared it. You can see like my hands are all green because I smeared it because I didn't want it to be too like in your face, right? I wanted it to kind of blend into the background a little bit more. So it's subtle, like these three little green dots are very subtle, but they sort of continue across the page and across multiple pages, right? And in here you can see more of that stenciling that I've done. It just depends on the angle of the page, how clear it is. We've got a prayer is, right? We've got the poem is continuing through the pages. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. And then we have our first we've got a little heart here on this page, but this is the first real big piece of ephemera. It's just some watercolor, sketchy like leaves. I do know how to pay attention. Again, the same elements that I've gone back in and added. I've got some with the washi tape up here with the golden details. I have some mark making across here, these green metallic marks, and then I have some handwriting across the bottom. It just gives each page additional depth. This one is actually pretty. I've got some of the green mark making up here, and I have some of the flower stencils. how to fall down, kind of simulating a little bit of the falling down, and the words are sort of like falling towards the bottom of the page into the grass. How to kneel. This is a kind of a layered washi tape situation. I did bring in a couple of different kinds of washi on this page. Down in the grass, lots of stenciling. You can see like the stenciled, almost like wheat stalks here. Some handwriting. Then how to be idle and blessed. On this page, I've got the skeletonized leaf. I've got a just like a messy scrap with a stamp on it. A little bit of the washi tape down here across the bottom. I'm also obviously reusing this stencil shape all the way through. You can see it on pretty much every page. And I'm kind of excited because I did do a cutout of it. So there's like a little window, and I really like how that looks too. How to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Some messy handwriting, some of these metallic green marks, kind of smudgy marks, another watercolor leaf. This piece of washi tape actually went off of the page a little bit, just kind of accidentally folded back on itself and got stuck, and I decided to leave it that way. It's almost like a little tab, kind of sticking off of the edge there. And then the mark making actually goes across the washi tape. It's hard to really see it, but, and then we've got some handwriting. And I've got the little flip tag in the middle that says, "Tell me, what else should I have done?" Kind of hiding behind that tag. And I love this sari silk kind of coming out the top. Doesn't everything die at last? And this has got some layered elements. This has got a watercolor flower done on like Amazon packaging. Got some more of those green, metallic green marks. I did do some Stabilo all like smushed around in the background just to give me a little more contrast for the flower. And then over here on the right hand side, you can see this is where I cut out the stencil. I just traced it and then used an X-Acto knife and cut it out so that we would have kind of like a little peekaboo moment. The Stabilo contrast here also gives it more contrast through this window, because otherwise it wasn't really visible, because the colors behind it were almost similar to the colors on the front, and I wanted to make it a little bit more obvious. And then, so on this page, I've got some mark making, some washi tape, some messy writing. The other side of that window, I did end up sketching the edges to make it stand out a little bit more. I've got more washi tape up here on this piece of stamped scrap over here, another watercolor leaf, and the remaining line of that poem, "Doesn't everything die at last and too soon?" Then I love this window into, this world with some shadowing down here on the bottom and on the right a little bit. The words, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do?" And on this side, I've just got a stamped scrap with some messy writing. And I have this piece of vine ribbon, just glued it down. And I absolutely adore this page. And then over here, when you flip the page, I've got some more of the washi tape over here on the right, some more of these metallic marks, some handwriting kind of in the background, some of this messy writing showing through. I did layer. Okay, so in the original one, I did have the hand right here, and I totally messed it up. I didn't like the white. I wanted it to be more metallic to match this, so I tried using I tried using a metallic marker to cover over like the mandala that I drew, and it was just too like the point was not pointy enough, and it got kind of I don't know. I just didn't like it. It wasn't great. And every time I would flip to it, I was just annoyed that I had messed it up. So I just peeled it off. I just peeled it off. I peeled some of the layering off, and I put this leaf shape down instead, which really works fine. It definitely fits with everything else in here. The colors fit. I think it's a nice big focal image for the last page. It creates a nice backdrop for the poem's final line, which is, if we go back to here, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? And I'm pretty happy with that. I did add Mary Oliver, The Summer Day, so that we've got, credit given to the author of that poem. I certainly don't want anybody to think that those are my words. They're absolutely not. And over here on the right-hand side, I have this little punch hole where I added some, it's almost impossible to see, it's green sparkly tulle. And I love that it just kind of sticks off the edge so that when it's closed, it's kind of just gives it a little, I don't know, a little poof, a little something. And then on the back, I've just repeated some of the elements that I've had. I don't have any words. There's no real focal image or words on the back. It's just kind of a collaboration of all of the different elements. So I have some of the washi tape. I have some of the foiling. I have some messy writing. Some of the same stenciled wheat stalks. Some collage. And then I took the pieces from here that I cut out and I glued them down here. And they did blend in again too much with the background, so I sketched around them with black pen, and then I added some shadowing with a Stabilo and a paintbrush of water. Just to give it a little, I mean, I guess that's kind of a focal image. I don't think it stands out enough to really be a true focal image, but it certainly reinforces the theme and the feeling of the overall journal. So this is the first time I've done a Cascade journal based on a poem. I've done any kind of journal based on a poem, and I really do love it. I'm really pretty happy with it. Tear a little piece of this. This tape is kind of sticking out the edge and driving me a little bit crazy here. So I'm just gonna snip it off. Perfect. So yeah, I love how this turned out. Now I can't wait. I did create a couple of additional vases that I haven't decorated yet. So I'm kind of excited to kind of jump into this style more often and work with it and create some very, very different kinds of journals. Like different color palettes and different themes and just different overall aesthetics. But gosh, I can't complain about this one. This is one of the prettiest journals I've ever made. I'm pretty happy with it. So thank you for everybody who followed along with me, and for any of you who are stumbling across this and you want to go back and follow along, the videos will all be available in a playlist, and I really hope that you have a great time. It's a little bit of a surprise star because when you start the process, you think, what on earth am I doing with this magazine? But it is so much fun. It is satisfying to tear the paper, and then it's so much fun to decorate the pages and to just pick a theme and kind of go with it. So I hope that you have a great time with this. I would love for you to share your Cascade journals, tag me, let me see what you're creating. It makes me so happy to see other people who are having a blast doing the same thing. So especially my April 2026 peeps in Paper Paint Impossibility. I love to be able to see your finished products. Melissa gifted hers, I think, to her mom, and one of the ladies, Marcia, is doing hers in my high school colors, just accidentally, not on purpose. But I just love to see what you're creating, and it makes me so happy. So, thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey. I hope that you have a blast. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always open to chatting, with my community. That's really why I'm out here on YouTube doing this, is so that I can build a creative community. I would love it if you like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you want to come and make a Cascade journal in person with me, I will just remind you that I am running a retreat this summer in July in Lewes, Delaware. If you are interested, the link will be in the video description, so you can check it out and get more details. And it would be so neat to meet you. So thanks so much for being here, folks. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.